Welcome to this video. I'm Michelle McGinnis, and I'm excited that you stopped by because I'm going to be sharing with you some big news that's going to be coming up that we're already feeling the effects of energetically, and that is that there is a big conjunct happening at the end of July and August, and it goes through. We've got Uranus kind of in a tough spot, and on top of it, we've got Mars and we've got the North Node, and they're all lining up. And that's what a conjunct is. Whenever you hear astrologers talk about conjuncts, it means that they're all lined up upon each other, which means all of their energies are kind of streamlining down to the Earth. And what those energies represent is how it affects the planet Earth. So I want to talk about it not only just in astrology uses, but I want to show you what it looks like for human design, because I think when you add both of them together, you can really get some specifics. And of course, we aren't here to say what's going to happen. That's only part of what astrology and human design does. But it can give us this awareness of like, okay, where did this happen in our history and what was going on? And it helps us all to know what to do internally, in my opinion. Understanding like what your life purpose is and what your mission is, maybe what your work is, what your passions are. All of that stuff is important when you take a look at what's happening globally, because all of our gifts are needed. I always tell that to everybody. Your gift is needing, whatever your gift is, whatever your life purpose is. Life purpose sometimes has such a big connotation word to it, right? It's like has such deep meaning that a lot of people like get a little off put, like, well, I don't know what my life purpose is, or how does this actually mix in with what's going on with the world? And what I mean by that is that by learning to go internally and find our own peace, finding our own happiness, finding our own dial of how to control our emotions, and not controlling that we're stuffing, but recognizing the emotions, working ourselves through the emotions, because this is kind of an emotional time. And it has been for quite a while, this shift and this change, like this awakening that's happening on the planet. So I want to give you the details of all of that. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and we're going to hop into a human design chart. Okay. And so I'm going to show you where, and the sun, it's important to know where the sun and the earth are. And that's the difference between human design and astrology. Is human design, they actually show us where the earth is in itself too, in the axis of it all. So here we go. So we're going to talk about that. Gate 31 is actually the gate in which the sun is going to be influencing at this time when this all happens for ourselves. And this particular gate is really a gate of what we call gate of influence. It is the space in which we all have something to be of service with, right? And that's going to be really lit up during this time of transition. And that's why I was talking about at the very beginning of all this, like how this impacts you and what your service can be to the world. What is your life purpose? What is it that you know that you came here to be empowered and to help other people be empowered with? Because guess what? Your gifts are your empowerment. They're things that come really easy and natural to you. And you're going to see that this is coming out of what we call in human design. This is coming out of your throat center. And your throat center is that manifestation area. It's the way that we manifest anything in our world, is by bringing it into word form, whether that's vocal, whether that's written, whether that's in dance, however it is that you bring your creativity out to the world so that it can be manifested. So gate 31 is being lit up by the sun during this time. And it is a gate of being of service. And so that's what the question would be. It's like, how can I be of service during this type of situation? It's a gate of receptivity. It's how you are actually going to feel the most don't want to keep using the word empowered, but it is a gate of high influence. It's not receptivity. My apologies. It's the gate of high influence. And it's this idea that you do have the power to influence things. When people ask you, when the world gives you an opportunity to say, hey, what's going on? You can say, hey, this is what I perceive to be my gift to the planet, to help the planet go through shifts and transformations. So that's why I think a lot of people for a really long period of time have been asking themselves the deep questions, like, what am I here to do? And then to add on to it, our earth in this moment is actually going to be lighting up during this time period at the end of this month is Gate 41. Gate 41 is in our area called the root center, and the root is the pressure point. It gives us pressure to get moving on things, to pressure to start things. And this is a very creative center. This is the center in which, when you are doing something that's very creative for yourself, um, it, it it helps you connect to the divine, to know what is in the best interest for you yourself, and what your guidance maybe from your higher soul self, God, spirit, universe, whatever you talk about it. When you allow yourself to get into that creative zone, you're going to find solutions to whatever's going on in your world during this conjunct, because the conjunct is actually happening um, in Taurus, and Taurus is very steady. It's steadfast. It likes its food. It likes its money. It likes to know where things are going. It likes the free things in life. It's a bull. It can be very stern. It's an earth sign. It doesn't want to move too much on those things, and it looks for safety in its possessions. So monetary. It looks for it within the body. Is the body healthy? Am I feeding it what it needs to be fed? All of those things, all of this action that I'm talking about is happening in Taurus energy. So you throw in the Uranus, and Uranus is actually going to be lighting up our, oops, not that one. Sorry, that's coming off the ego center. It's lighting up Gate 2. So if this is all in alignment, Uranus, Mars, and North Node, it means that all three of those planets are lighting up Gate 2. Gate 2 is the gate of receptivity. It's actually, um, it, Gate 2 is actually this idea for being able to take your vision and put it into action, and to have a focus of where to pinpoint that all. So it takes all of our resources, and it allows us to know exactly where it is and what it is that would be more purposeful, um, and have a great grand direction for it. So let's go back to the Taurus thing. All of this, Gate 31, Gate 2, Gate 41, all of this stuff is happening in in an energetic time in which we're asking ourselves about our finances, our food, and our technology, because Uranus is popping, as has been in the energy of Taurus, which means we're going to be taking a look at all three of those things. We have been, but there could be some surprises and some changes again coming up at the end of this month. So, why I think it's important to understand why 41 and 2 are so important is because those are being specifically lit up to give us this idea that, listen, be your grand self during this period of time. If you find that your world is being shifted and it's a surprise and you're not really sure you know, where to go from here, that's the time to go ahead and get on your creative hat. And what I mean by creativity, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to go paint something. For some of you, it will be. It means, how is it that you can get creative? Some people get creative with organization. Some people get creative in their jobs. They're always like that aha person for others. You know, creativity can come from, you're really good at finding the solutions of something, cooking, cleaning, knowing where to place your resources. So, knowing your life purpose in human design, take a look at that. It's called a life theme when you look at your chart. What is your life theme, and how can you use that in a creative sense to work your way through what might be shifting or happening to us as a collective? Because maybe nothing personal may be happening to you, but you're going to see that the collective is going to be shifting again. And how can I find my balance in all of that? And when it comes to food, maybe some of you are discovering that your body and your health, it's time. You've been talking the talk, and now it's time to take the walk with the talk. So maybe you've decided that you're increasing, something that's really good and healthy for your body. Maybe you've been studying and researching. Maybe you're actually exercising that physical body of yours, especially if you have Gate 46 lit up in your chart. This would be a very important time for all of you to start really tuning into what your physical body needs, because all of this energy is happening in the gate of Taurus. Food supplies, we're already seeing shortages, but in food supplies, if you've been going into the grocery stores, you might have been noticing that. Of course, the increase of prices on fuel, which transports our food, is all having an effect on all of this. So we're again already seeing some of the effects of all of this. But the other part that I want to talk about that maybe you're not hearing in other spots would be how it is that because we've got all of this direct energy coming on the planet, because I'm telling you that again, that when we're talking about conjunct in the world of astrology, it means that there's planets lining up and they're making an effect on the earth. And so the conjunction of all of this happening for all of us right now means that there's another layer of new energy, new light coming onto the planet. It's interesting because I did receive a call from someone who I consider very highly astute and attuned, just to the energies of the planet. And she had called a few days ago saying there's some new energies coming. She doesn't study astrology, or human design or any of that. She just intuitively knows what's happening on the planet. And I respect her. And she was talking about how she was feeling a shift in the energies, and we were having a long discussion about it. So now seeing that this conjunct is coming out, it makes a lot of sense. So for some of us, we may be feeling new energies and light around us. You may be feeling a new connection with the veil thinning and sensing and feeling other beings, maybe your ancestors, maybe another light beings from other places coming through for you. And so all of that's happening for all of us. Some of us pick it up, some of us don't. Doesn't matter. There's no judgment in any of that, but it's available to us now. So meditation becomes really important because Uranus is also all about innovation. And all of these things have to be taken a look at. And it's an uncomfortable place for it to be in Taurus because Taurus is very structured and it's grounded. It knows what it likes, and that's the end of it. And what's happening is this Uranus energy, and again, Uranus is hitting number 2 right now during this whole thing. Um, it's causing the stir to take a look at, wow, what is really happening? What needs to be changed? Where can we seek freedom, innovation, technology? Uranus is all about technology. We're going to start to see new technology coming in. Some of it may frighten us. Some of us may be like, finally, we're seeing this, but it's going to disrupt a lot of belief systems within all of it. And by the way, this energy is going to hold for us for quite a while yet. I want to say through October, I believe, of this year, this type of energy is going to be happening. So it means really finding our balance. But the great news is if you're looking at it through the human design eyes, it's saying, okay, the sun is really shining on this concept of how can I be of service. It's also telling us how we can be of service is really digging into our creative side, to looking for solutions for ourselves and for other people through creativity. And that's where our consciousness lies, by the way, is through creativity, which is in gate 41 here. And gate number 2 is lit up for all of us in the sense of where Uranus, Mars, and the North Node are all landing in the area of turning these new ideas into reality. So you've got Uranus, new ideas, innovation, taking a look at everything. You've also got Mars. Mars is usually known as a very quick moving, kind of angry at times energy. So it's going to be swift actions that could happen because Uranus also represents changes that can be surprises. And when you've got Mars right on top of it, it means that whatever needs to be shifted and changed, it could be quite swift. We could feel like we've been kind of hit up against smacked up against the face, like, holy crap, I didn't see that coming at all. And then you've got the North Node, which is where we're supposed to be moving. The North Node is that area for all of us to take a look at. Hey, how is it that I'm supposed to be growing? Because we have habits and belief systems within our North Nodes that we're supposed to be creating anew. And that's what the North Node is telling us. So creating some new belief systems that could really shock and be uncomfortable. So I always come back to the concept of how it is that you can feel comfortable within your own self. Always. How can you be comfortable in yourself, knowing and feeling that sometimes the outside world seems really chaotic and crazy and scary? And that is always getting back to your basics, your prayer, your meditations, not judging so harshly yourself and other people, and knowing that you have voice in where you put your attention. Your voice comes through that 31. That voice of yours is coming through where you're putting your focus and attention, where you're putting your money, how you're handling your body. Um, are you giving it what it needs and the attention that it deserves? Are you meditating? Um, it's giving us a chance to understand that technology is going to be shifting. We could have some sparks in the idea of maybe some technology being a little wonky in the next week or two. So being mindful that you're backing things up, you're preparing kind of for that shift, swift change. Because again, remember, this is hitting our technology, our finances, and our food, our body, our health. So that's why it's such a big whammy, because it's really spanning in a lot of things that need to be taken a look at, things that need to change. And of course, change always means disruption and chaos. And how do you handle chaos? So if you're somebody who in the past you feel like, oh, I don't handle chaos or change very well, maybe you need to start changing your mantra. Maybe you need to start preparing, maybe making sure that you have a little bit of extra food or a little bit of money set aside um, for yourself so that you do feel a little bit more relaxed. And sometimes that's why we do those things, is so that we can feel that relaxation happening in the body and we can feel that I have control over something, right? And again, none of this is meant to be scary by any means. Like for some of you, this probably isn't going to have such a huge effect on you personally. It just depends on where all this lands personally on your chart. So, anyways, cheers to positive, uplifting changes, that this is only for the highest good of all. And if we all hold that stance and position during chaos, is when we know that we are utilizing our own sovereignty and allowing that is good for the service of all, and self will come through all of this. Many blessings to you all.